G'day and welcome back to Australia's only classic mini YouTube channel. On this episode, we're going to be working back on EGS and I'm going to show you how to install a Malpassi Adjustable fuel pressure regulator. So if you haven't already, make sure to check out the video in the link in the description above explaining what a fuel pressure regulator does and why it's important to have, especially on a carbureted car. So first things first, we need to find the fuel pipe. In our case, it's just here, just runs up directly from the back of the vehicle. So once you've located your fuel pipe, you want to remove it from the carburetor as well as the pipe down here that comes directly from the fuel tank. So once you've removed the inlet pipe from the fuel line to the carburetor, you then want to work out where you're going to mount this thing. So what I'm thinking of doing is possibly mounting the bracket on there like that and then bending it in a bit of a U shape. And then once it's bent in a U shape, maybe just mounting it along here somewhere. That way I can adjust it to where I need it to be, as well as I can get this thing as flat as I possibly can. Therefore, it's going to enable any fuel to be directly transferred from the fuel filter all the way through to the carburetor. Also, one thing to note is on the bottom of it, it does tell you exactly whether to be in or out. So inlet is just here. So the inlet is the straight one, outlet is the bent one. All right, so what I'm going to do is just grab my vise, grab some rags, just fold it in half a couple of times. That way I'm not going to damage it and it's not going to look really crap for the customer. Now, the top part is the rounded section. So this is going to be mounted to the filter itself. So you probably want to leave a good 40 mil. So I'm probably going to bend it about here, and we're going to bend this side down as far as we can. So it should be fairly easy to do. I'm just going to mount it in the vise. Let's just overcompensate how deep we need it to be. I'll probably go about there, I reckon. Wind it all the way in. And then we're just going to bend it. You should be able to do it by hand. Jeez, I'm strong. All right, cool. So there's our bracket. We probably need to bend it a little bit further, depending how much more we need to get out of it. So let's go put it back in the car, see if we can figure out where we're going to mount it, and then hopefully we might just need to bend it just a little bit more. All right, so one of the funnest parts about modifying cars is working out how stuff's going to go. So what I'm going to do is just put the bolt through there with the nut and the washer, get a bit of an idea as to where this is going to sit. And then if we need to make any more modifications to it, we'll just kind of work out, oh, that's almost bang on where we need it to be. I think probably by the time we tighten up those bolts, it's going to be pretty straight. And also that's going to also be quite clear from the bonnet opening and closing as well. It's away from any fuel sources. Have to make sure. So the pipe will come out. We've got a T-piece in which we're going to run the pressure gauge. Now this hose isn't actually going to stay here. I've just got it routed that way. It'll probably actually sit like this. That's just for the breather pipe down below for the crankcase ventilation. So we'll probably run it over here, run the T-piece, and then twist it around and bring it over there. All right, that'll be perfect. And we can also still service the filter as well. So I'm just going to grab a Sharpie and I'm just going to mark here as well where I need the bolts to be drilled. Just grab a drill bit, same size as this, and we'll drill the mounting holes into the firewall. All right, so for some reason I only have Imperial drill bits. So I'm using a 1964 drill bit to drill these holes. Yes, I'm well aware I should have drilled a pilot hole. Like they say, you only live once. All right, probably sent the camera into the abyss just then. Good thing to note as well, being a round nose, there's pretty much nothing on the back side of this. So just keep that in mind when you're drilling holes into stuff. What's on the other side? You want to make sure there's nothing in the way that's going to impair it, or you're going to damage it on the opposite side. Let's grab the bracket and mount it on there. Like always, I happen to have the world's longest bolts going in here, so that'll be fine. That's not going to be an issue. So long as I can get this bolt in there, it won't be an issue anyway. I just need to give it a bit of persuasion. So now we've got it somewhat mounted there. We're going to put the washers on the back side of it, along with the nuts, tighten it up, and then we can start refitting the bracket to the fuel pressure reg. Put the bolts through. I'm going to assess to see if we need to adjust it any further, but by the look of it, she looks pretty good. Now also another thing I forgot to mention in the video when I spoke about the fuel pressure regulator is that it is a serviceable filter, meaning you can buy replacements for it. So all you have to do is undo all these Allen key bolts. It'll come straight up, then you can replace the filter element itself. So now let's tighten up these and we should be all right actually to mount the fuel lines. That's pretty straight. It is just a little bit off, but it'll be okay. All right, so now they are all tight. Perfect. Let's run the fuel line from the inlet to the fuel pipe just down here. All right, so we're just going to refit this one down here. All right, so we'll just refit the fuel pipe onto the steel one that comes from the pump. We'll tighten that one up, and then we'll cut this one to length going to the inlet side of it over here. Actually, just cable tight to the speedo cable over here. That way it'll be nice and away from anything that's moving. And that speedo cable is only going to move there, so that'll be okay. So I'm going to give it a little bit extra length. So I'm just going to cut it where my finger is. Now I do have these pliers, and I think this is what they're used for. And please, someone in the comment section below tell me if I'm using the right ones to use it for cutting pipe. I think it might be electrical. It doesn't actually say. It is a snap-on. Oh, Blue Point. Part number is Yankee Alpha 1000 Alpha. So I'm not actually sure. Is that for cutting hoses or is it electrical? Not entirely sure. I've never really used this. It's only been the last couple of years actually. Anyway, back on track. The clamp, I know that's not the best clamp. Yes, I'm sure people in the comment section will tell me, you need to get a different clamp. No one shit. So just temporary. Let's just put the clamp on the wrong way. You dingus. So Tomo's tech tip, make sure you always put the clamp on the right way. That way it's not going to be rubbing against anything. So all I want to do here is just mount it all, get all the pipes plumbed, get everything fitted, and then I will get some new clamps for it and just replace them all. That way they're all nice and clean and tidy, they're not all just crappy old ones. That's on there now, so we'll cable tie that out of the way, that way it's not going to move. Now, what we need to do is run the pipe from here to there, but we need to also run the fuel pressure gauge as well. All right, so next thing we're going to do is run the fuel pipe to the fuel filter assembly. So, like I was saying in the video about the fuel pressure regulator, in order for you to know how much fuel pressure is going in there, you need a fuel pressure gauge. Now this is a removable T-piece in which enables me to run a fuel pressure gauge, work out how much fuel pressure is in there, and then adjust it accordingly. So I'm just trying to work out where I'm actually going to mount it. I might mount it here and have it facing downwards. I might even run it over here. I think over here might be a little bit too much. It might have too much vibration. That there is just the vacuum hose, which is actually going to go down on here. You probably can't see. Yeah, I think I'll probably run it about here, and that way I can just have the gauge facing upwards, and it's not going to get in the way of the bonnet. Yeah, if the bonnet touches it, it's only going to move down, so it's not going to damage it whatsoever. So for those geniuses out there, this here, yes, I know that is open, that shouldn't be open. I do have a filter for it. All right, so we got our ta-da, SARS fuel pressure gauge Minisport liquid filled 1/8 NPT. So 1/8 NPT is the same as a oil pressure gauge fitting. It is a very, very, very common fitting for automobiles. So if you're ever trying to do something like this, generally the 1/8 NPT, which is this one here, is generally what you're going to need. So as you can see there, it is liquid filled. So that's what we need. Now, in order for us to put it in here, you can just simply screw it back into here. Away you go, but it's going to leak because it's going to be under fuel pressure. We need to put a bit of thread tape on this thread just here. So here's Tomo's tech tip when using thread tape. Instead of going the same way that the thread goes, so this is going to be a right-handed thread, meaning that we're going to tighten it this way, we want to go the other way. That way when you tighten it onto the fitting, you're not going to pinch and clamp all of the thread tape, and it's not going to bunch up. It's actually going to want to help seat it in there and seal it nice and tight. Okay, so we've got that. Now we grab our fitting. So we're going to have to go this way, yeah. Okay, we're going to have to just probably sit it here, I think. I was going to say we can angle it up a little bit, but probably not going to be angling it up too high. So that should be okay there, because that's not going to touch anything. Even if it moves up and down, it's only going to move to about this point. But the further I put it towards the carburetor, the less likelihood it is of bouncing around and potentially touching that down there. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to mark that probably about there. Grab our pliers again, cut that, we'll make this sucker work. Now I have only done up the TP spot hand, so we want to make sure that we properly tighten it with a spanner as well once we've got it all fitted. The good thing about this is as well, there's a couple of flats here on the sides, and there's a hexagonal bit here as well, so all you need is a couple of spanners. Now in regards to fuel pipes, you need to make sure that you get the one that is rated for the pressure in which you're doing. So like we were talking about with the fuel pressure reg, you want to make sure that the fuel pressure going through the pipe doesn't exceed what the pipe is capable of doing. Otherwise, it is going to completely spit it apart, and then you're going to be in a world of pain. All right, so this one now goes on here. And then we're just going to run that one to about here. So the shorter we make that, the more it's going to pull it back there. So I'm just going to leave this a little bit longer, that way I can just trim it if I need to. Yeah, there we go. That'd be perfect. That's completely free and clear. Moving parts. Yeah, sweet. Cool. That will work. Fuel pipe for this. It should be okay because it does have two barbs. It has one at the end where my finger is, but it also has one up here a little bit further down. So it looks like it's kind of a multi-fit size pipe, but let's make sure it's all the way down before you then tighten it. So I'm pretty much just going to run that clamp as far towards the housing of the fuel pressure reg as I possibly can. That way it'll ensure I can get as much tightness out of it as possible, and that way it's got more to seat up against, that if it is going to slide down a little bit, I can tighten up just that little fraction more. Now also make note that the bonnet is obviously off this vehicle, so it is going to make it somewhat easier to be able to run this stuff compared to when the bonnet's on. So the reason why I left it off is because I didn't want to refit it and then be smashing the head on everything. As you can see, it is significantly easier to work on this vehicle with the bonnet off the vehicle. Ignition on, fuel pump on. Alright, so let's just have a look. So, we don't have that much fuel pressure actually. We've only got about 1.5 PSI, so it's not all that high. We really need this thing to be about 3. So, that's not to say that the fuel pressure coming directly from the fuel pump is set to 1.5. It could be the restriction from the fuel pressure regulator. So let's adjust it now. So yes, I do apologise about the radiator fan. We are going to loosen off the nuts at the top. I'm going to work out how we're going to adjust it. So it's like a tappet adjustment. All we need to do is put a screwdriver in the top, loosen it or tighten it. So what we're going to do first loosen off the locking nut, like you would with tappets. We're going to spin it one way and see what the pressure does. Okay, it appears to be going down, so then we want to tighten it. .3 psi. So we're holding the screwdriver, nipping that up, and then we're going to put the locking nut on top. Well folks, that's how you install a Malpassi adjustable fuel pressure regulator to your classic Mini or Moke. So make sure that you attach a fuel gauge to it on the outlet side of it, adjust it once either the vehicle is running or, like I did, do it when the vehicle is stationary with the pump on. You can set this to whatever pressure you need depending on the application, so make sure you fine tune it or look up the specs online and figure out how much pressure you need depending on the system that you're working on. Like always guys, stay COVID safe. We'll see you right here on another episode of Tomo's Tune Ups.